Good afternoon, people. This is Katie Huff with Katie Huff Ministries of Setting Yourself Free, the podcast that wants you to be, do, and have all that God created you to be. And we are here in Michigan, and I got the wonderful blessing to meet Rena Malka, who is from Canada. She represents Freedom Lovers Canada, and she has since moved to Florida. And we're excited to hear about who she is, what her background is, and what made her come to Michigan.
Well, I'm so happy to be here at the Reawaken Tour. This is my fourth one, and I was lucky to go to San Diego first as a guest, and then also Pennsylvania is media, and also in Florida where I live now in Doral. And now here we are in Troy, Michigan, and it's always very exciting, a lot of great energy. So Freedom Lovers Canada, well, the name says it all. We love our freedom and we want to be free in Canada and of course the US and all over the world. This is a global problem ever since the so-called pandemic came into being. And, we talk about different things every week on Tuesday nights. We have a Zoom call where people from Canada and the U.S. get to hear various speakers, top doctors, lawyers, politicians, activists, and so many different subjects. And on our website, freedomloverscanada.com, if you're interested, all the previous calls are there, and there's a lot of great information and resources. But why I asked to be interviewed today was to give you an update of what's going on in Canada.
That would be nice.
Because Trudeau keeps coming up with more ideas that we just can't believe the things he comes up with. So, for example, right now they're trying to pass a law that's called C-65, and it's basically a censorship law that states that if anybody is saying anything that the government considers to be hateful, that could be pretty much a very wide interpretation. Like even if somebody said F Trudeau, that could be considered hateful,
right?
And you could get up to life in prison. But the law is also stating that even if you did something before the law was passed, that they have the right to go into your social media with no limit as to how long ago, and if they deem anything that you said to be hateful, again, you could have life in prison.
Wow.
And then in the future, going forward, there could be people that could rat on you or snitch on you to say that they think you might do something hateful. Now, even though you haven't done anything, if that person can make a case against you, then the person who is being accused, they would have to pay the government $70,000, of which $20,000 will go to the person who accused you, who was also anonymous, that you can't confront them. And if you lose, you can that they think you're going to do something that you never even did, you can still also go to life in prison.
Wow. It sounds like, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I always joke and say, you must have to look good in orange and silver bracelets if you live in Canada.
I know. And I'm sure if they go to my social media, they're going to find something. So I don't know if I could even, I might be considered a terrorist in Canada someday. I don't know.
Well, we'll retract that because, obviously she's not. And
I am not. I'm peaceful.
Yes.
Hippie days. Original hippie. Love and peace, man.
Yeah. And we are here because God's got a plan, and it's perfect, and it's right on time. And he wins in the end.
Yes.
But the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus came to give us life into the fullest. Obviously, the word is the truth.
Yes.
And for all of us that need to know what the truth is, you need to pick up a Bible and start reading. And I would start with the book of John, which is so loving. But the point is that it is the best personal development book on the market is the Bible. And it will tell you the truth. It will tell you that you are forgiven, that you are worthy, that you are loved. And obviously, with the women's retreats that I have, then I'm thinking Rena needs to come to the women's retreat, which is in October 27th through the 30th in Paradise, Montana. And that's part of my platform, along with setting yourself free from whatever is holding you back from being, doing, and having what God created you to be.
Well, I'd love to attend.
Right?
Please send me the information.
Yes. And then we have this book called Unmask, the Power of Courage and Vulnerability to Live Free, No More Settling, Shame, or Self-Betrayal, because we, as women, unfortunately, have a tendency to put ourselves second versus, as on the airplanes, they say, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. We usually, because we're women in general, put ourselves last, and our cup is empty. So this is a way for us to obviously put God first and ourselves second, because if our cup is empty, then we can't do and be what God has created us to be, and to be a freedom warrior that Rena is here to share why she is a part of this movement.
Yes, thank you, Katie. But that is just only one thing that's happening in Canada. I don't know. Well, another thing is that they're increasing the taxes so much. We have so many taxes. We have a carbon tax that's been added to the gas. Property tax increased by 16%. Now in Toronto, they are proposing a rain tax. So this will be to support the water and sewer systems. If more, depending on the size of your lot, if you have more rain on your property, you're going to pay more rain tax. And another tax now they've come up with on the capital gains tax. If you were an investor and bought a property, and after June 25th of this year, when you sell your property, the government is taking 66% of your profit. And wait,
That's
and
crazy.
There's more.
I'm literally holding on to my seat because I can't wait.
Well, so many people have left Canada because it's terrible, and over 800,000 people have left already, and so now they want to charge an exit tax. If you want to leave Canada, you have to pay $25,000. This is another new thing they're proposing.
Well, I guess the blessing is obviously, thank God it's not 100,000.
Well, not everybody can afford to leave.
No.
I know, and also to immigrate, like for me to stay I moved from Toronto to Florida almost 3 years ago, but to stay, you're only allowed to stay 6 months as a tourist. So I had to open a business, and I had to pay like around $10,000 in immigration costs to move. Like, not like the people are just coming from the southern border and they just get everything for free, free accommodation, cell phone, food, whatever. I didn't get anything. But I'm a refugee too, and I wish I could apply for asylum. But another thing they've done, I don't know if you heard of the MAID program. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, this is actually a law that is passed, not proposed. MAID stands for Medical Assistance in Dying. So originally, it was very good. It was for humanitarian purposes. Let's say someone was dying of cancer. They're definitely like almost on death's edge. Like within the next couple of weeks, they're going to be dead anyways, and they're suffering. And they decided they would like assisted suicide because they don't want to suffer anymore. Well, I agree with that. It's humanitarian, and that's their choice. But then they extended it to the mentally ill. So mentally ill people could be suicidal.
Right.
So now if they come and they say, I want to commit suicide, instead of putting them in the psych ward and giving them treatment and medication, it's like, sign here, we'll kill you.
Oh my God.
Then they extended it to the poor and the homeless. If you can't afford to live, you can apply to die. Then also they extended it to what they call mature minors. So this is 12 years old, or even if you're 11 but turning 12 that year, you could say to your doctor, I'm depressed, I don't have a girlfriend, I don't want to live anymore. If the doctor signs off, they will kill the child without the parents' knowledge.
Oh my goodness.
And
Lord have mercy.
Yes, and a few months ago, there was 2 lady doctors. One was bragging that she already killed over 700 people, and another one over 600 people. And like, it's being offered to people all the time, the MAID program. And one lady was in the newspaper, she had Lyme disease, they couldn't help her, they offered her the MAID program. Another lady, she was vaccine injured, and they offered her the MAID program. They said, we didn't kill you with the vaccine yet, but now let's just kill you, let's get it over with. Another story, there was a man who was living in a rooming house, just paying like $500 a month rent, and he was getting evicted because a developer was buying the building to do a land assembly to build some project there, and he had some disability, so he knew that he wouldn't be able to find another place for that price, and that he would end up on the street, and that he couldn't survive. So he applied for the MAID program, but he went on Instagram and said he really didn't want to die. So a lady who didn't even know him set up like a GoFundMe, and the next video, he was on there in a new apartment that they had raised $60,000 for him, and he didn't have to die. And he said, please don't send me any more money because then I will get my disability check.
Right, and you'll be taxed.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think you get taxed on disability. I'm not really sure. Okay, but these are like just some of the things that are happening in Canada. And, you know, when we did try to stand up, I'm sure you heard about the truckers' convoy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, in our capital city of Ottawa, the truckers' convoy was only there about 3.5 weeks. They were totally peaceful, singing, dancing, bouncy castles for kids,
right,
cleaning the streets, feeding the homeless. But Trudeau made them sound like they were Nazis,
right,
and the worst crime they did was make noise honking their horns. That was it. And he sent in the police, he sent in mounted police, they even trampled a woman, and he declared a state of emergency, which was originally called the War Measures Act. It was only supposed to be used if we were in a war.
right.
And a lot of people were very encouraged and donated money, a total of about $10 million to the convoy. And Trudeau made I don't remember if it was GoFundMe or which group it was, made them hold on to that money, not distribute it to the convoy. And everybody who donated to it had their bank accounts frozen without any court order. So our government can't find where millions of dollars have disappeared, but they can find a single mom in British Columbia who donated $50 and freeze her bank account. And
Wow, it sounds like their priorities are a little messed up.
yeah, and then there was a court case to say if he really had the right to call a state of emergency, and the court decided that he was wrong. He shouldn't have called a state of emergency, and then they're appealing it. The government doesn't want to accept the court's decision, which we were kind of really surprised too, because a lot of the judges or the court system seems to have been compromised in the decisions that they've been making, like we see here with the J6 people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the court decisions have not been fair.
No.
You know, and I've talked to quite a few people whose family are in jail.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're, you know, it's not just in Canada. I mean, it's also there in the U.S.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think we have it worse right now. We're like almost totally communist, basically.
Well, there's that, and it's kind of crazy, obviously. And so I would just encourage people that you need to get on your knees and you need to pray to the God of the universe, which is Jesus, who is going to set us free and who has a plan and is always right on time. And he's never early. And we are challenged, obviously, in the waiting. So I always talk about the 3 P's, Rena, which is you pray, you pause, and you don't do anything until you have peace.
Yes.
Because peace is the guardrails, and it is we need to guard our hearts and minds. Obviously, that's scriptural, and to lean not on our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge Him, and He will make our paths straight. So, I'm just here to encourage you that if you want truth, you go to the Bible, and to guard your heart and mind, and wherever we're at, whether it's in the United States or Canada or anywhere, but to protect our hearts and minds, but to be educated and know what's going on, so you then can make better decisions for you and your family.
Yes, and you know, God is stronger than all the evil.
Yes.
And we know that the global elite, World Economic Forum,
Yep.
they're definitely evil and satanic. They do pray to Satan, they hail him, they read the Satanic Bible, they sacrifice children, they drink their blood. First they terrorize them so there'll be, you know, more chemicals in their blood that will supposedly make them youthful again. But God is stronger than that, and we
God
will
wins.
overcome. Yes, we will. And I do definitely believe in the power of prayer.
Amen.
I myself am Jewish, but Jesus was also Jewish.
Yes, He was.
And so,
Yes, He was.
And you know what? If He hadn't have come, there would have been no Christians.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so I would say lean on prayer, because
Yes.
prayer is the answer. And as we know, at least in the Christian Bible, that God wins in the end.
Yes,
So-
He does. And you know, even though I am Jewish, I am open-minded, and you know, Jesus could be the Messiah. I know that's what you believe, and you know, we're still waiting waiting for the first coming. You're waiting for the second coming.
Right.
But please come soon.
Amen. And on that, it's a wrap. Go to katie-huff.com/events. Come to the Women's Retreat in Montana, in Paradise, October 27th through the 30th. And I just thank you for checking in. And remember, we're on Rumble, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify and Apple and X, because you don't want to miss any information that we want to share with you so you can make great decisions and trust in the plan that God has for you. So with that, thank you, Rena.
Thank you very much for having me. And I just want to remind everybody, no matter what all these draconian rules are that come out, do not comply. Because if all of us say no, what are they going to do?
They'll have no choice.
It's more of us.
Yes,
Thank
there
you
is.
so much.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Right here. Wow.
My name is Katie Huff Mortensen, and my ministry is Katie Huff Ministries out of Lolo, Montana. Unfortunately, women in general, a lot of times will have self-betrayal and shame and settling in their careers or in their relationships. And so I am in the process of helping them to be, do, and have all God created them to be, and to set themselves free from whatever is holding them back.
My wife went to her women's retreat and she came back a different woman. She had so much more confidence.
I would say in general, they do not see or recognize how they're worth. They're worthy of it all, and they've been, beat down from a career or a relationship or family relationships, or they're just shouldering so much of the past is one big thing. And then the other thing is not realizing who they are in the eyes of Christ, that they are forgiven, they are loved unconditionally, that there are no mistakes, there's only lessons, and that God's plan is so perfect. And so they go from walking in clay, not sure, a little depressed, sad, feeling terrible about their past and being stuck and not moving forward, knowing that there's something much bigger for them in the future.
I had the wonderful chance to meet Katie when I went to a conference, and the first thing I noticed about her is she had an amazing energy.
Well, great people like the women that have come in the past and continue to come is that they are coming because they know that there is light at the end of their struggle.
She's an awesome leader, a mentor.
I have seen over the last 14 years of doing this, women come in broken, and they are sad and depressed, frustrated, and they walk out smiling. They've had a breakthrough of what they can be, do, and have.
Attend her retreat, and you will never be the same.
I have known Katie Huff Mortensen for about 16 years, and she is just an amazing leader.
It is pretty incredible. It's in Paradise, Montana, and that's not by chance. It's an absolutely gorgeous surrounding. There's a hot springs there that women can relax in between sessions. They can have their cup of coffee in the morning in the hot springs. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the food is incredible. We are in a Camp Bighorn is the name of the location, and it is a Christian campsite. We have 2 sessions in the morning, we have 1 in the afternoon, and then this past year we actually did a ropes course where it was suspending ourselves and getting over fear, which was a huge stretch of your courage to be set free. And in this fall of last year, we actually went floating down the river in rafts as an excursion. We have the Bison Refuge as another excursion. So there's a big mix of, education and support and sessions, followed by outings and relaxation, great food, great camaraderie, sisterhood, where people feel very safe and they have major breakthroughs. They can buy tickets at Eventbrite under Katie-Huff Ministries. So katy-huff.com is the website that they can go to get more information. So Katie-Huff, HUFF.com on my website, and they can see where it says events. And the cost depends on their lodging, in the sense that they have 3 different tiers of lodging. They can be on the river, and that is the best view. You're on the river. The second one is in a cabin with 2 queen beds, and then a third option. So the rooming is the difference between anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for those 4 days. And it includes everything in the food and the adventures and the lodging. I want you to go to katy-huff.com/events and fill out the form so I can call you and lead you from where you are today to the event in May 4th through the 7th, 2025 in Paradise, Montana, which is an incredible location where you will be set free to live your best life ever.